Welcome to Her Cancer, Our Story, a raw and honest podcast about facing stage 4 metastatic breast cancer as a couple.
Welcome back. I'm Mike,
And I'm Kaela.
and this is Our Story. How you doing today, Kay?
I'm a little agitated.
Oh, you really?
I don't know. We're recording a day early. It feels very out of my routine at this point, and I just wanted to relax tonight, but I'm here, and I am happy to be here. It's just not what I was anticipating.
Yeah,
I'm being very honest right now.
Hey, that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how was your week?
It's been good. I had a good weekend. We had decent weather. It was hot on Sunday. We live in Maryland.
How was the igloo?
Oh my gosh. So we were supposed to get an igloo. We booked it. We've been trying to book this thing for years. I can't remember if I said that last episode. Multiple years. And we booked it before we knew what the weather was going to be like. And then as we're getting closer to the weekend, we realized the temperature is going to be around 80 degrees. And we were thinking, okay, how's this going to work? Like, it's a clear igloo and the sun is going to be out. And we're essentially thinking it's going to be kind of like a greenhouse effect going on inside there. I'm an anxious sweater, but I'm also just a sweater in general when like it's hot out. So I really was not looking forward to that. I don't do super well in the heat. So we show up very prepared to possibly have to get into this igloo. Thankfully, no. They actually made a couple of the cabanas available, and we were able to do a cabana instead. They reserved that for us and like put a hold on any additional igloo reservations because I think they have 8 or something like that. So we did that. It was awesome. The weather was perfect for that. And we had a lot of fun. We just laughed the whole time. And I will say, like, I think maybe cancer came up once, but we really didn't talk about me at all. And my friend actually messaged me this week saying she had started listening to our last episode and heard some of the good news from last week and immediately apologized that she didn't really ask much about it. And I was like, no, like I'm fine talking about it and I'm also fine not talking about it. And I don't even think it crossed my mind that, we didn't talk about cancer really. And I said
felt nice to be very normal.
It did. And I told her like I had thought prior to meeting up with them, like, oh, I need to make sure like I tell them this good news. And then honestly, like once we were together, I didn't even think about it. So, but again, like it kind of goes to show that, life is somewhat as normal as it possibly can be right now, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I had a lot of fun with them. The baby shower we went to on Saturday was a lot of fun as well. And yeah. This week, I don't know, it's Wednesday, so we haven't really had many days.
Yeah, it's true. It's early in the week. Yeah. So I guess, we kind of know what you did for yourself, I guess, right?
Yep.
You had those fun things.
Yeah.
Let's look forward. I want you to think about what you're going to do for yourself this week that's not something you've done already.
Well,
all right, just start planning.
Okay, so I don't have to talk about it right now. Just think about it. Okay.
You don't have to.
Okay.
I think you smoked the heck out of that story about the igloos anyway.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right. Well, let's talk about some updates. We don't really have a whole lot going on as far as like appointments and that, but I think you're feeling some things, right?
Yeah. So the doctor, when we met with the oncologist, when I met with her, she mentioned like she was really happy that I didn't really have side effects from the meds. And she said like it would be great if I continue to not have any, aside from probably like menopausal symptoms. So I think ultimately like she expected me to get some menopause type symptoms. And again, I think I've talked about like, I think there's some minor things happening, but I would say I am having occasional hot flashes. I would say mine are primarily at night when I'm sleeping. Like I wake up and I'm just thinking, oh, it's so hot in here. And I throw the blankets off. But then a little bit later I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm cold again. So I don't know. We keep our house at like 64 degrees. So, it is rather cool in here. And I've also had the fan on the last 2 nights. So it was definitely a hot flash that woke me up. And I've had like a couple occasional ones during the day.
Yeah. What about like how's your irritability
Okay,
tolerance?
well, today I'm agitated. I've
I
already shared that.
understand.
Not during the day, just tonight. I just didn't want to do anything.
Can I be honest?
I guess.
Right? I mean, this is the whole point.
Yes.
I think I've noticed a little something this week.
Well.
And, you know, it's okay, but I think you're just getting... You're definitely getting more irritated in your yeah.
Other than tonight, when have I been irritated?
It's been like this week. Yeah. And like even a little bit through the weekend.
We're going to have to talk about that on the side, I think, then.
No, we can talk about it here.
When else have I been irritated?
Just little things, yeah. Yeah, like things that I think like we haven't like argued or even had little things about like came up like this week, I think, like over the last week that I don't know, it just seemed like you were shorter fused than normal.
Can I say the same about you?
And I'll admit, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we're both there.
Yeah.
Yours is a technology
Am I having
issue.
well, yeah. Am I having sympathy menopause?
You're not allowed to have sympathy menopause.
Okay, I didn't know.
Like I know it was a joke when I was pregnant that you were having like sympathy pregnancy. I forget what is that a thing? I can't
no,
remember.
I think we joked about. Yeah, we
Okay.
joked. There was jokes about it.
Maybe, but no.
I know.
Sorry,
I know.
not allowed.
I know. I am also not handling stress awesomely, but
Oh, is that a word?
it is now.
Okay.
Speaking of mess ups and technology issues, so we're trying out a new microphone tonight. I don't know how it's going to go. We wanted something that I didn't have to hold because I move too much, but I'm also worried that I move too much for this one. It was just going to hear me move all over. So if it sounds different, that's why. Hopefully it sounds better. But
Sounds bad. We're going to revisit what we need to do.
Yeah. So we're trying new things out. We're trying to improve. Okay, so that's the updates. So let's get into the episode. Today I want to focus on the idea of being an advocate.
Okay.
And advocacy.
All right.
So you mentioned pretty early on that you wanted to be an advocate.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. What does being an advocate mean to you? And I'm not asking for your plan or anything right now, but just what's the idea of being an advocate mean to you when you hear that?
So this is a tough question, I guess. I haven't really thought about it too much. I think it's just, for me, I go back to when I was first like diagnosed and going through this and like the potential for what it could be, meaning like stage 4. I just really didn't know anything. And then I've learned so much because I've just been thrown into this. And it still, though, is very obvious that like the overall, I don't know, like people outside of this bubble that like stage 4 is have very little understanding and knowledge about it, and like to no fault of their own. Like it's, you know, it's not something that everybody interacts with and encounters on a regular basis, compared to maybe like some other diseases and illnesses. And like when you hear breast cancer, and every cancer is different, and like what treatment looks like. And I mean, we are very lucky that breast cancer is one of the higher, like I think it's actually one of the most funded cancers out there. But metastatic cancer, breast cancer, is a little bit different in that way. I'm learning still a lot about that, so I don't want to be like, I don't want to be saying the wrong thing. But it's just, there's so much about it all that I had no idea. And I think like there have been encounters with people that have made me feel like, oh, like, do I correct them? Do I just let it go? Because it's like, oh, you'll beat this. And it's like, well, like, I mean, in a way, kind of, maybe, but like, no, right now I'm always going to be living with this. Yeah. So, but it's like, why? Like right now I'm not there yet. So I don't know. That was like a roundabout way of kind of like
it's
how
a hard
it started.
Question to answer, I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
I guess like is being an advocate, like doing like, is that a way of coping for you, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I actually saw a post just recently. I think I saved it. I actually kind of wish I would have like reshared it, and maybe I did, I don't remember. But it was saying like it was a male who was diagnosed with some type of cancer. Now I can't remember what it was. And it was, where he had to get like chemo and treatments and all of this. And he could have basically shared that he could have gone through like the whole why me and like feeling sorry for himself and, etc. But he just decided to kind of take a different approach to it. And he actually developed these sweatshirts for when you get chemo that make your port more accessible, and design them like to help other cancer patients. So it was taking like a really crappy situation and turning it into like, how can I help? And I think seeing that was like, yeah, like that's why I want to do this, because I haven't given a whole lot of thought into it yet. I feel like we have lots of goals and like lots of ideas that we haven't put into action yet, but like we're in those beginning planning phases. But seeing his thing of like, why me? Like I've had those thoughts. I've had those why me thoughts, and I still do. Like there's still random days that I'm like, why me? And then I kind of just like, Kaela, stop. There's nothing you can do. You got to move on, because I know like it's not doing anything for me. And I've talked about that. So yeah, I've just decided that that's what I'm going to do. And not that there aren't going to be hard days, but I really want to see like what impact can we make, even if it's very minor and small, but just bringing more awareness to like our family and friends. Like that's important to me. So
yeah.
And or like just even taking like a bad situation and making it into like the best that you can. And I think you can apply that to any situation in life, like whether it's a really bad cancer diagnosis, some other type of illness, or just in general something that sucks that you're going through.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to ask you a question, and it's definitely going to be taken the wrong way, I think, but I do have a purpose for it, and there's a reason why I'm asking this question is like, but like, why did you decide to become an advocate now? Like, and so your mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. Mm-hmm. And I think like from an outsider's view, I guess I'm asking like, why not then?
Mm-hmm. No, that's that is a good question. Obviously, yeah, cancer in general has hit my family hard. We've talked about that. Breast cancer specifically has hit my family hard. I do think a lot of times until it impacts you personally, and I say that in a way like obviously my mom and my aunt having breast cancer did impact me and our family personally, but it's just different when it's yourself. I think also because mine is a stage 4 diagnosis, I think, my mom has been amazing and wonderful, and my aunt too, and that like from the very beginning, before we even knew it was stage 4, they said like, this is your journey. And you have to decide like what's best for you and how you're going to go through this. And you can't let anybody tell you how to go through this. And my mom has always been like my number one supporter, along with, I'd say you now, of course, since we've been married. But she's always been like, this is, your journey. You have to handle it. How it's best for you. Like, yes, I went through it, but that was different. And then I think again, like she would always bring up too, like, because I would say like, Mom, how did you do this? Like before we even knew it was stage 4, but like, I just don't know, like how, looking back, how. And she said like, I was in a different phase of life than you are. Like, yes, I'm a mom, but you're an adult, and now you have young kids and you're married. Like she's not married. She's been single for a long time. And so it's just like, it's just different. And I just appreciate how much she made it like be okay that our stories are different. And she has never once like played that comparison game. Does she talk about maybe like her symptoms and side effects, or like say, hey, I found that this really helped me? Of course. But she has 100% always just supported that this is my path and my journey that I have to follow. And she has not made it about her for 1 second.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm guessing, you were in a different situation back then. Like your energy was going into supporting her. and making sure, you were going up there for some of the chemo treatments and everything. And like your goal then was to just be there for her. And I think now it's different. Like you're here for yourself, but I think a lot of that is too, like finding that purpose in all of this. So, I asked that question not to be kind of a jerk or make you feel bad or anything, but just to kind of highlight how different of a situation this is. And it's okay. Like sometimes, like when you're a support person, that's your job, is to support that person, whoever needs your help. And it's you're probably not thinking as big, like how can we fix this and the bigger problem. But now you're kind of faced with that head on, and it's probably a lot heavier, and I don't know how it feels, but I don't want anyone to ever feel like guilt that they didn't do something earlier, before it impacted them.
Well, and in hindsight, I think too, I think I live 5.5, 6 hours away. So I think she also tried her best to maybe hide some things from me when she was going through it. So I wasn't like as worried. So now like hindsight obviously is always 2020. Like you kind of like think back and about how like maybe you would have handled things differently or whatever. But yeah, it's just, I think also like she's always the mom, right? Like she's always just trying to figure out how she can protect me. So.
Yeah, definitely. At one point, your mom and I were texting, and she was, just like, it was a text of support and everything. And, I texted her back and I said, Judy, I know I'm not always like the most talkative person, and I can't imagine, and I hope to never know what you're going through as a parent, but I just want you to know, like, I'm here for you too, kind of thing. And yeah. But yeah, it's definitely hard, but like I think a lot of it is the coping aspect, and you're putting a purpose to this horrible thing, and now you want to help as many people as you can.
And I think I just want to put this out there, and this isn't like a pat on the back to me moment. Like I do think that I'm handling this fairly well, all things considered, but I just don't want anybody out there who could potentially be listening to this and maybe they're not handling it as well, whether they're newly diagnosed or maybe they handled it well for a while and then they had a setback and aren't handling it, quote unquote well. I'm saying, like, I mean, gosh, if you're just waking up every day putting one foot in front of the other, like you're doing the best you can. And I don't want anything to diminish that. But if I know I've had a lot of thoughts and I've said it to you, like, I am not handling this well very early on. And you were like, you're doing what you can with what you know right now. So yeah, I don't want, like, a few people have said to me, that they're just amazed of like how well I'm doing. And yeah, I do think I'm generally doing well. But I don't want it to come across in a way of like, I'm better than somebody else, or like, I don't know why I'm handling this so well. Like, I don't know if I'm just lucky. I don't know if it's like, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I was on a call with somebody and they were shocked to hear that I was just diagnosed in January and kind of jumping into some possible like future event planning and things like that surrounding MBC. And I don't know, it kind of like brought a reality check to me of like, am I like doing too much? Like, am I going to hit like a wall and just crash at some point? I don't know. It's just kind of an odd place to be, but I think I'm just banking on the fact that like I'm in a good place. I don't have a lot of side effects and symptoms, and I just can kind of power through some of this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like resilient is a weird word to use sometimes, but maybe like I'm just doing well with that right now.
Yeah. It's funny you said that. One of the, I think she's a doctor, and we follow her on Instagram. She was talking about a very similar situation where you said like, are you doing too much? And I think like she experienced something like that where she was kind of like, like with cancer, like you want to live your life to the fullest. You want to live. And I think she was like doing that to the point of like almost feeling burnout, she was saying.
Yeah.
Now she's having to like step back and be like, okay, how can I live to the fullest, but also give myself the rest that I need?
Yeah. And which is why I think tonight I just wanted to sit on the couch, Mike.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, that was a perfect opportunity to give you a hard time again.
Yeah,
so
I'll take it. All right. So what, I guess like what are some goals you have for being an advocate of this?
Yeah. So obviously I'm starting to work closely with our local breast cancer awareness BCA. organization, doing like volunteer work and things like that. And that's just, they support anybody who's going through a breast cancer diagnosis, whether from the very early stages all the way to stage 4, and they do amazing work. So I just want to be supportive through that. Obviously, I'm getting support from them too, but then like, what can I do to help give back to the community? And so part of that looks like just volunteering with some of their events that they put on to help raise money so that they can continue doing those amazing things. I know we've referenced the golf outing. They also do a couple other events later on in the year that I think would be really great to attend or volunteer. So that's kind of like an immediate thing. Obviously, also going to the what's
conference,
it called? Oh my gosh, yes,
conference.
Conference.
Living Beyond Cancer.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a lot of networking there and just like making friends and connections and seeing like where else this can take us. Another thing is getting even just putting ourselves out there on social media. Like, I am not a frequent poster. I am not a selfie person. I am not like a let's get on here and talk with my face in a video camera, or that made me sound old. A phone camera? I don't know.
Phone camera, that doesn't make you sound old at all.
What would you call it?
Camera.
Okay. All right. Okay. But I'm trying my best.
You are. You posted a fire picture the other night.
I felt so like,
oh my gosh,
cringy afterward and uncomfortable about it.
Ooh.
I felt very I almost deleted it a couple times. I still like can't even go back and look at it because it makes me so uncomfortable. Stop. But I just, that is not who I am. So I'm trying because I know it's important, and I know somebody will stumble. Like, I have stumbled across people's pages and I've been like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I found them. So I'm hoping that sometime in the future, I mean, I know we have already made some connections on Instagram, but I'm hoping that that can also happen to somebody else. Like, they stumble upon our page at some point. But it's definitely out of my comfort zone. I know I should be posting more, and I'm not great at that yet. I'm working on it. What else? I am very interested in getting involved with, it's an organization called Light Up MBC. And so I did jump on a call with them. Was it last week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so they help people put on walks in their own communities. And all of the funds go back to Mediviver, which is the organization that puts all of their money into stage 4 metastatic breast cancer research. And so they kind of just introduced me into what it would look like to host a walk of our own. So that's something that we are in the very, very, very early stages of, like, I don't know, information gathering, I guess, and also looking at potentially where we could hold something like that in our community. They were amazing, and they were very much just like, listen, if you can get 50 participants your first year, like, that's incredible. If you get more than that, great, but even 50 is great. So
do they advertise like their like on their website, like where their walks are?
Well, I saw the ones for the spring. So there's 2 in the spring. I think one is in Pennsylvania and one is in New Jersey. And then there's at least 8 in the fall, but those have not been advertised.
Okay.
Yeah, that I could see really quick
Would
looking
you
online.
like want to go to one before you put one on?
I mean, I think it would be cool to go to one in the spring if we could. I guess I'd need to check the dates. They are probably coming up if we could.
There is a lot going on.
Just to see, spring. Like, I know we have a lot scheduled. But I think, so Light Up MBC is an organization that obviously like helps fund, like move funds into stage 4 MBC, but it also, so they work with landmarks around the country to light up on Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day in October. So they light up in the colors pink, blue, and green. And so there's different people that go around and like talk to the people, I guess, who would be in charge of lighting up those landmarks and ask, like, get that all set up. So that's like another way we could actually. I don't really know. We don't really have any big landmarks around here, but like
we don't. But who knows? I mean, maybe some of like the the downtown buildings could do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's something. That's a possibility for sure.
Like, I'm trying not to dive in completely and overwhelm myself.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that's like before we started talking about this and before I saw that post earlier today, I don't think I was concerned about that for you. But now that we're talking about it, I kind of am. I want to make sure that you aren't doing too much too soon.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think that's why, I'm like, if we can get a walk going this fall, great. If we have to wait till the spring, okay. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's just trying to see like what we can handle right now and go from there. But it is important to me too. So
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any like bigger plans, I guess, or like out of your comfort zone things? I asked you about this, so I'm gonna ask you again. Like, would you ever want to be like a speaker or anything at a conference or anything related to this?
listen, no. I mean, I don't know. I guess I would. It's not an automatic no. I just
It
don't think
sounded pretty
I
automatic.
don't. Okay, here are my points. So one, I don't think I'm a very good public speaker.
Hey, if you're listening to this, if you hear this, tell her that she's wrong.
When
Okay.
have I spoken in front of groups in front of you?
Not in, you didn't say but you're an amazing speaker.
Okay, on here in a room with you, maybe. I am not. I get very, very anxious and very, very nervous speaking in front of people, especially if I can't like read off of something, and I know that's like very much what you shouldn't do. You're not supposed to just read off of something, but I'm not great at that. I lose my train of thought. I forget things. I don't know. It makes me very uncomfortable. I'm also very afraid that people are going to judge whatever I'm saying. So even doing this, like I have to always say like, yeah, I might be saying this wrong. I might be whatever. So that, I don't know, I guess that's like the biggest holdup for me is like, I'm not super comfortable, putting myself out there in front of a big group of people.
And that's fine.
I'm not you. Like, you can go to these work conferences and do whatever. Nope, not me.
That's just, I'm only like, I don't even want to say I'm good at it. I just love attention.
Yeah, I don't, not in that way.
And I love talking, obviously too much probably, but yeah.
Well, and it's funny, like I run meetings all the time for what I do.
Yeah.
And that doesn't bother me at all. But I mean, it's also like max of 10 people.
Yeah.
Usually.
That's true.
So I don't know.
All right. Well, what else? Like, do you have any other advocacy goals? Like, obviously doing this kind of like outreach stuff through some of the organizations that exist already is awesome. But is there anything? What else are you thinking about doing?
Oof. I don't really know right now.
And that's okay.
I mean, I think like obviously we want to see where this podcast takes us and how we can grow this little like network, I guess, for lack of better words. So maybe that means like, I mean, we've talked about guests. I think we've talked about guests like that we know, but possibly at some point reaching out to some other people and who might be really knowledgeable about certain topics, to come on and talk. And I think that would be really eye-opening for us, but I think it would be really great for anybody listening too. So that could be an avenue we take. I don't know. But we also have to hope somebody would want to come on here
Yeah.
and talk. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
What about you? Like, do you think I'm crazy with all of this stuff?
I know. I am so proud of you for all of this. It amazes me every day seeing what you're doing, and even days like you're feeling like you are today, you're sitting down and doing this, even though you just want to watch your trash TV probably and relax, put the big blanket on.
I miss the Survivor start time, so now I can't watch it until it's over.
Uh-oh. But no, I mean, you're constantly talking about something like you're researching this to all the way, and you're like, hey, I found this, like you're talking to me about the new like trials and studies they're doing, and I mean, look, like your life depends on it, so I get it, but you're doing all of that, and you signed us up for a potential like what is that, a study of some sort through some university out west?
Yeah, master's degree students doing a study on how breast cancer diagnosis can impact young couples and families. I think it was 45 and younger.
Yes, 42, no, 45.
No, 45. So we're talking about that. Whatever we can do to like help, especially being so young and again like having a young family, but it's something that's really important to me to help people understand that women and men are being diagnosed younger and younger. And that's scary. Like, that's a very scary thought. So I want that research to continue. Unfortunately, we know research in general has been cut for various things. I'm not going to get into that whole side of it, but like funding for it has been cut. And there are some different ways that I've seen people advocating for funding for research, like down in Washington, D.C. So, like, is that something that I look into? I'm not sure. There's just so much. And like you said, I got to kind of take baby steps, I think, and like rein it in a little bit here and there. And luckily I have you to kind of be like, listen, I think you need to maybe put a pause on that. Like, can that be like a next year thing? But I also know that, hopefully I'm here for a long time, but you just don't know, right? So got to make the difference while I can.
None of us know. You actually said something, I don't know, a month ago, you referred to yourself as having terminal cancer, and you're kind of doing it like in jest, but I was like, please don't say that.
I know.
And you're like, we're all terminal. You're terminal. You're going to die someday. You don't know when you're going to die.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you're right. You're very true. You're very right.
I know. And like, yeah, I meant that. I don't know.
It's
like, we also can like, that's just kind of how our relationship is. Like the humor piece comes into play a lot. Even when it might be not the best time, like talking about that.
I can always appreciate it.
But there actually was like a post I saw in Threads a little bit ago that I felt like it was a highly insensitive comment towards like a terminal diagnosis and what one would do if they had one. And I did actually send a message to that person, and I was like, listen, I agree with you a lot of the time. It's like some influencer, but I will have to say that I'm like quite disappointed and upset by what you are posting. So I don't do that.
Okay.
I didn't reply. I messaged.
Okay.
I didn't want to put myself out there completely, but I'll share that with you later.
Yeah, no, I want to know. Also, what is Threads?
It's the Instagram version of X or Twitter or whatever, I think. I don't know. What? People said they liked Threads a little bit better. I'm not really sure. I don't really understand it all yet. We're old.
I'm going to sound old. I don't want to learn another social media.
I know.
Why can't it just be, I don't know. All right. Okay.
If you've heard random thuds, it's Mike like punching the bed with his fist.
I'm sitting here watching Kaela. She has not moved this entire time. I feel like I'm being held down by like those like when people go to the hospital and they can't like move or whatever, and they strap them down. I feel like that. Like I have that urge right now just to constantly like.
Oh gosh.
I'm in the one position I've been in for the longest time in my life, and it's driving me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're special.
Is there anyone that like, have you been inspired by anyone that you followed recently as far as like being an advocate?
Yeah, I'm not good at thinking of their like handles.
I know. I feel like we should be better at like doing that and give people their props.
I did post something today. I think her name is Annie, and I think she's actually a comedian. She has stage 4 breast cancer, and it was a reel of her basically just talking about how like when she meets people, and I forget exactly. Oh my gosh, but not here. In all seriousness, the menopause, like forgetfulness and not being able to remember anything is 100% real, and I have been experiencing that. I can't remember anything these days, more so than normal. So I'm just going to stop there with that part because unfortunately I can't remember. But I really liked the reel she posted. She's super funny, and it helps kind of like lighten the mood a little bit with the stuff she posts. Yeah. But she's also advocating at the same time, so It's great. But there's a lot of different ones. I think it'd be cool to kind of highlight some of those in the future. But we're also going to be sharing different things on our page too. So
yeah. I think one thing too with like advocacy is like it's not all the same. Like you don't have to do big grandiose things like outward things too either necessarily. Right. Like there's other ways to advocate, and you mentioned earlier, like if you're in a situation you're not handling it well and you're like, oh my gosh, this girl is, a few months into this and she wants to do all this stuff and I am struggling to get out of bed. Like that's okay.
Yeah, it is 100%. It's okay.
There is no there is no playbook for this.
No, absolutely not. And everybody's path, like we said before, like it's their own path and their own journey they have to take. And just know, though, that you're not alone. Just because my story is different than your story, and that's something I'm learning too. It's like, we've talked about this. Somebody who could have the exact same subtype and everything as me, their response to treatment is going to be different than my response to treatment. And that is some of what makes breast cancer so tricky. To treat, to cure, to find different things at times. Yes, there are a lot of treatments out there, but still everybody is so different. So just know, though, like, you're not alone in that, and there's always people out there to talk to, and don't be afraid to reach out to me or anyone else that might be going through something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Is there anything else, like, as far as the advocacy side of things that you'd like to discuss?
Not that I can think of right now. I don't know. Is there any other, like, what about you as far as, I don't know, like, obviously you're very supportive of me, but is there anything that I've brought up to you that you're like, yes, absolutely, I want to do this? Like, what is your, like, number one thing that you like, besides, like, the podcast and everything? Because I know, like, this has been something I think for you that you've been able to dive into and feel like you're like making a difference and doing something for. And thank goodness, because I couldn't deal with all the tech stuff. So yeah, I just appreciate you.
Thank you. No, I think the podcast has been like my biggest thing that I can do. And, sometimes it's getting everything set up and figuring out how to do it, but also like dragging you downstairs to record when you don't want to.
I know, but I love you and thank you for making me do it.
But also, I don't know. I think just like, obviously I want to do like everything you're doing. The walks sound great. I'm glad we're going to meet like the BCA because they're so local and everything. Yeah. And I think that's going to be a really, really nice group to get to know a little bit. But I think that eventually I'd like to kind of figure out more with like the spouse and support side of things. Because, I don't want to sit here and talk like, oh, like, woe is me. Like this is hard on me, but
it is.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And, I don't think anyone's carrying more weight than anyone else, but obviously like I'm wrong. You're carrying way more weight than I would be, but this is still really heavy for me.
Yeah.
And it's hard. And, I have just like different questions, different things, different worries sometimes. But, there's obviously like, I'm sure there's support out there. I really don't know much about it. That's why I'm kind of just diving into the podcast and everything. And
I love that, though.
Yeah, so hopefully, like at the one of the big things about that Living Beyond Breast Cancer conference is like support. Like there's a support track basically. So I'll be attending a lot of those sessions and hope to learn more and also like be involved in that community.
No, I think I'm looking forward to hearing like your takeaways from that weekend, because I think we're both going to get things out of it that impact me and influence like the journey that we take together. But I'm really looking forward to hearing like what you get out of it for you personally too, not just like how it impacts me and us and our relationship, but like what you can take away from this. So and we'll definitely talk about that once we go. It's only a couple weeks away.
It's coming close. Yeah,
I know.
It is.
So.
All right. Well, what's on the horizon for this week for you? Anything big coming up?
Yeah. Tomorrow I have my next Zoladex shot.
That's
So keep me in menopause. Yay.
This one is local. You get to drive 20 minutes down the road.
I don't have to go an hour and 20 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that'll be great. I'm also getting blood work. I'm very interested to see what my blood work says. Hoping for good numbers, hoping for good white blood cell count numbers. Hopefully my liver enzymes are good. Let's hope for lots of different things. This will actually come out next Tuesday, so I'll already know all that information, but yeah, hoping for all the good things there. And I'll also get my third and hopefully last EKG, which will hopefully just continue to say, yep, your heart's good and responding well to the medication.
Yep.
So
fingers crossed.
That's what's tomorrow. I also pick up my next Kisqali prescription box thing, so I'll start that next week. Round 2. Let's go.
Yeah. You're in your off week now, right?
Yeah. I just started that. I think it was yesterday. Yesterday was my first day without a pill. Or without the 3 pills, I mean.
Awesome.
So threw away that first box and ready to pick up box number 2.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank
proud
you.
of you for everything.
I'm proud of you too.
Oh, thank you. All
Putting
right.
up with me.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this by now, you should have seen that there is a bonus episode out.
Yes.
It is called the Support Spotlight episode. And these are, I'm going to put these out randomly, kind of, as I do them. But it's really just to give a shout out and a spotlight of those that are supporting us and willing to come and talk for 15 minutes or so. So if you haven't already checked that out, this one is about Kaela's friend, Lisa. So her and I sat down for a short little interview, and it's good to get to know the people who are supporting us, but also get to hear kind of like how it feels for them as well and what they're dealing with as a support person.
Yeah,
So,
I love it.
So listen to it if you haven't. But yeah, I think this is a good time to wrap it up.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yep, thanks. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.